this. The crew chief, and behind home plate tonight is Jonathan Parra. Austin Jones at first base. Jen Powell is the second base umpire, and Jeremy Riggs is the third base umpire. And I believe Jen Powell is the first female umpire we've had here at Truist Field since this ballpark opened up. Making the jump to AAA and knocking on the big league door now is Jen Powell. We're set for baseball. Fisher ready to go to work. He's going to face Wynn, Robertson, and Yepes here in the first inning. Rocks into the windup, and the first pitch of 23 is swung on and fouled back out of play. And we are underway. First pitch time, 7:13, and overcast skies, 69 degrees. Here at the corner of Graham and MLK in uptown Charlotte. Here's the 0-1. Breaking pitch, cut on and missed, and it's 0-2. Mason Wynn, a right-handed batter, stands up on the plate, deep in the box, against the left-hander Fisher. Here's the windup. And the next one's a breaking ball outside. Doing the catching tonight, Carlos Perez, who made his major league debut with the White Sox last season. Had a really good season. In fact, he was very quick out of the gates offensively last April. Here's a swing and a foul down the right side, peeling back into the seats. Down the right field side of Truist Field. Right now, the flag, which is at half-mast, is hanging straight down the flagpole. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a foul this time down the left field side and back on a play. I bring that up because later tonight, the wind is supposed to pick up here in the Queen City. And some rain coming in overnight into the morning, and the winds could be anywhere from 10 to 20 miles an hour, I've heard. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a foul. So Wynn is battling Nate Fisher in this first at bat. I will say this, with the pitch clock that's become such a big story now because it's in the major leagues, we won't have that for that three-game series to open the season here because of a malfunction with the equipment here at the ballpark, something that Major League Baseball is trying to work on, but both teams deciding since. Here's the pitch. Cut on a miss, a breaking ball for strike three, and Fisher strikes out the first batter to get this season underway. One down here in the first inning, the batter Kramer Robertson. So both teams deciding that since the clock in center field wasn't working, they'd rather not just go off the clocks on the side. It's not going to use them during this three-game series. So there'll be no pitch violations in this series. Here's the pitch to Robertson. He takes a strike. Now, an interesting story about Kramer Robertson, former LSU standout. As he plays here tonight, his mom, who's Kim Mulkey, the head coach of the LSU women's basketball team, they're just underway now in the first game of the Final Four in Dallas, Texas. Pitch inside, 1-1 LSU is taking on Virginia Tech. That game just underway, and Coach Mulkey, longtime head coach at Baylor, now at LSU. Pitch is outside on Robertson, who's a right-handed batter. 2-1. So I'm sure when he's not in the field or at the plate, he'll be getting some score updates of his mom's game and his alma mater, the LSU Bengal Tigers. Here's the 2-1, and it's off the inside ball 3. And, of course, last season was the introduction of the ABS, the automated balls and strikes, and we had it here at Truist Field, and there was no other place in the league that had it in 2022. Here's the pitch, fouled away. It's going to be across AAA baseball this season, but every ballpark in the International League is not up and running yet with the technology, so until they are, which I believe is going to be about the third week of April, we won't have the ABS or the challenge until then. Now, tonight in the Pacific Coast League, there are 10 teams in that league. They will, from opening night, have the ABS all season. Here's a strike on the inside corner. A fastball ringing up Robertson. And Fisher fans the first two here in the first inning. He gets Wynn swinging. He gets Robertson looking. And now the batter is Juan Yepes. Yepes, when he was with the Redbirds last season, did a number on the Charlotte Knights. In fact, when Memphis was here in April last year, Yepes hit the ball all over the ballpark and in most instances out of the ballpark. Takes the first pitch here inside. He has got tremendous power. Spent a lot of time last season up at the Cardinals. Here's the pitch. He swings and misses. Big cut. 1 ball and 1 strike. Gomez on deck. So Carlos Perez is catching for the Charlotte Knights. Berger's the first baseman. Sosa's the second baseman. Eric Gonzalez and Yolbert Sanchez on the left side. Here's the pitch, and it's going to be a ball outside. And I can say that, 2 on the right side, 2 on the left side, because the shift is no more. You have to have 2 infielders on the dirt on each side of the second base bag. That's a new rule in baseball this year. Here's the 2-1. Swing and a miss. Good breaking ball that had the bottom drop out of it. Now 2-2 on Juan Yepez. Got Adam Hazley in left field, Billy Hamilton in center, and Jake Marisnik in right. Those are 3 guys that can really cover some ground out there. A lot of speed. The 2-2 serve is lined right towards the second baseman. In between hop. Gobbled by Sosa. Throws to first. And Fisher has himself a very nice 3 up and 3 down top of the first inning to start this 2023 season. So the Knights are coming up in the bottom of the first. No score. This is the Charlotte Knights Baseball Network. Charlotte coming up here in the bottom of the first inning. No score as Fisher set down the Redbirds 1-2-3 in the top half of the frame. Adam Hazley will lead things off of the Charlotte Knights. Then Yolbert Sanchez and Jake Berger. Hazley acquired during spring training last year by the White Sox from the Phillies. Had a handful of call-ups last season by the White Sox, going up and down between AAA and the Major League team in Chicago. First pitch, he swings, grounds it up the middle, and that's going to find its way into center field for a leadoff single in the first pitch by Matthew Liberatore. And I'll tell you what, a year ago, that might have been an out because they would have had the shift on. There would have been somebody there. Thank goodness that shift is gone. Base hit up the middle by Adam Hazley, and here comes Yolbert Sanchez. Yolbert also had a fine season a year ago. Played well during his time with the Charlotte Knights. Right-handed batter against the left-hander. There goes Hazley, swing and a miss. Throw down. Dropped by the second baseman. It's a stolen base. Would not have had him anyway. So Hazley, on the first pitch of the season, got a base hit. On the second pitch, he steals second base. New manager Justin Jersley is coaching at third base. The count is 0-1 on the right-hand batting Sanchez, and now the pitch. He swings and fouls it off to the right side. Jake Berger's on deck. Runner on second, nobody out. Liberatore comes set at the letters and now delivers up high with the ball. Just 23 years old, the number 4 rated prospect right now in the Cardinals organization. Liberatore's had some major league time with St. Louis. He was a first-round pick of Tampa Bay before going to the Cardinals organization. Here's the pitch, and it's inside. 2-2 on Yolbert Sanchez. Ivan Herrera is the catcher. Baker at first base. Karakuto is the second baseman. Mason Wynn at short. Kramer Robertson at third. Now the 2-2, and it's a curve for a strike on the inside, and Sanchez knew it. Just put his head down and began that walk back to the first base dugout. So Liberatore, that big hook, gets his first strikeout. And it brings to the plate Jake Berger, former first-round pick of the White Sox. Fought through some injury-riddled seasons and had a breakout year a year ago. Pitch inside. Became a dad recently for the first time. Playing first base tonight. Spent most of his time with the Knights as a third baseman. Here's the 1-0. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. Has big power. Redbirds outfield, Scott Hurst in left, Oscar Mercado in center, Juan Yepez in right. They're playing straight away. Left side of the infield back with the righty at the plate. The count 1 ball and 1 strike. And the next one is waved out and missed. A fastball at 95 miles an hour. Jake readjusting his batting glove, and again with no pitch clock because of the clock's being worked on right now. He can take time. No penalties. Now the 1-2. Swing and a foul ball on a play. So Major League Baseball had their opening day yesterday, and quite a few of the Major League games were right at or under 3 hours, as they are now implementing the new rules with the pitch clock, and hitters have to be in the box with at least 8 seconds on that clock. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And now a bluff to second base by Liberator. 130 times last season the Charlotte Knights played a game under 3 hours. That pitch clock was certainly evident of its success last year. Here's a line drive. That's a base hit to left field. They will hold Hazley. The throw comes to the plate. Good throw on 1 hop by Scott Hurst. And now the Knights have base runners on the corners. That pitch was up on the hands a little bit, but Berger able to get his bat around and laces one to left field for a base hit. Now they're on the corners for Lenyn Sosa. Pitch was up too, and Jake went and got it. Hit it so hard that Hazley, even with his great speed, was going to be stopped at third base, and Hurst quickly got that ball in from left field. Sosa bats right-handed. Here's the pitch by Liberator. It's a curve and it's dropped in, but called a ball. The catcher, Herrera, thought that was a strike and asked the umpire. But it is ball 1. Again, you don't have the ABS in this league until later in April. 1 ball, no strikes. Swing and a slow ground ball, foul, third base. So when the ABS is up and running, a little different. We had, just the automated balls and strikes until the All-Star break last year. Then after the All-Star break, we had the challenge system. This season on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday games, it'll be the ABS. Friday, Saturday, Sunday games, it'll be the challenge system once it gets going in late April. 1-1 is outside. So with that being said, if it was running right now, it's a Friday night, Herrera could have challenged that pitch thinking that it was a strike, but unable to do that right now. It'll be a 2-1 here to Lenyn Sosa. And he takes a fastball a little bit high. Now the count 3 balls and 1 strike. Sosa looks down at third as Justin Jersley gives some signs. Justin is from the Milwaukee area in Wisconsin. Just outside. Here's a pitch outside for ball 4. Bases loaded. Justin's dad, a longtime coach and minor league manager with the Kansas City Royals organization, was their third base coach in the major leagues for a long time. He's actually back managing in AAA with their club in Omaha this year. But the Knights aren't playing Omaha here in 2023. Wouldn't that have been something? Father-son matchup as managers. If that's ever happened, I've not heard of it, but at some point, if his dad continues to manage in this league and Justin spends a year or 2 more in the International League, that could potentially happen if the Knights eventually get to play the Omaha Storm Chasers that are in this league. But it's a 20-team league. You don't play everybody every year. And we haven't played Omaha yet since they've come into the league. Knights have loaded the bases, only 1 out. Bottom of the first inning, no score, and the batter now is Carlos Perez. So Liberator in a little bit of a jam here with 1 down. The pitch to Perez, he swings and misses. Now Carlos last year was a tough guy to strike out. He put the ball in play. Open stance deep in that right-handed box. Now the pitch. And it's in the dirt at his feet. He jumps back out of the way. Last season, had 21 home runs, drove in 76. He's got some power. Infield play for a double play, trying to get out of the inning. Bases loaded. Next one is high. And the count runs to 2-1. So Liberatore struggling with command. That was a fastball up, and now he wants a new baseball, telling the umpire. And Herrera, the catcher, throws him out a new baseball. Liberatore, 23 years old. Lefty delivers and throws a fastball to the outside corner for a strike. Lefty is 6'3". And the next one, a breaking pitch. Actually, beg your pardon, a fastball that ran in. Maybe a cut fastball. Ran in off the plate, and the count now 3-2. No place to put him. Three-two delivery. Swings and misses. That was a slow curve that time at 77 on the inside. So a couple of strikeouts for Liberatore, trying to get out of the inning. That was a big strikeout of a guy that last season did not strike out very often. So Perez is the second out of the inning. And now the batter is Zach Remillard. Remillard DHing tonight. He's a righty. First pitch, he checks his swing, grounds it back to the mound, and Liberatore is going to get out of the inning. Throws to first base, and the Knights load him up, but they do not score. They get turned away, leaving three on base. And at the end of a full inning of play, here at Truist Field on opening night, it is Memphis nothing and Charlotte nothing. This is Knights baseball from Beaver Sports. Top of the second, no score. The Knights loaded the bases, but Liberatore able to work his way out of that bases loaded jam. So now here at the top of the second, the first pitch to Moises Gomez is going to be ball one. He's the designated hitter. One ball, no strikes. Fisher delivers, and it's fouled back. Gomez, then Herrera, and Baker coming up for the Redbirds. Nate Fisher had a 1-2-3 first. Struck out the first two batters. And got Yepes to ground out. Fisher rocks into the windup. And a foul back. Off speed to 81 into the hands of Gomez. Knights infield straight away. Same with the outfield. Nate Fisher, 26 years old. Here's a foul back on the screen. He'll be 27 later in the month of May. He is from Nebraska. And played at the University of Nebraska for the Cornhuskers. 1-2, swing and a miss. Fastball up at 92, and he got him to chase it up out of the zone. Now 3 strikeouts for Fisher. Had a quick conversation after batting practice with manager Justin Jersley and asked about the pitch count today for Fisher, and he said probably around 80 to 88. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball, a strike on the inside. So far, Fisher's been nothing but a strike thrower in the first inning plus. Getting ahead. He's fanned 3 of the 4 he's faced. Here's a foul back on the screen. Now he's up 0-2 on Herrera. Ivan Herrera. Hit .268 a year ago with 6 home runs and 34 runs knocked in. Right-handed batter against the lefty on the mound. And the Knights defense straight away. The count is 2 strikes. Here he comes. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. 82 on the hands. Changing speeds. Moving the ball in and out. And now 4 strikeouts. Here comes Lucan Baker. one of the biggest sluggers in the International League. He is a very big young man. Now the pitch. Right-hander. He takes a fastball outside. For old school White Sox fans, it reminds me of a guy like Greg Luzinski, just a big slugger. Where's number 44? Fisher's pitch, swung on and missed. He almost swung out of his shoes on that swing. Last season, 21 home runs for Baker, drove in 66. Only hit 228, though. Now the pitch. There's a swing and a drive to left field. High and deep, back of the wall, Hazley, and that one's gone. The first of the season for Baker, a high, towering drive to left field up on the roof of the Piedmont Natural Gas picnic deck. And Baker circles the bases and puts the Redbirds on top 1-0. Just a big slugger. Hit it very high, just got out. It's a hitter-friendly left field here at the ballpark in Charlotte. 344 that carried out of the ballpark. Now Mercado, and he'll take a strike. Curveball 76 for a strike. So with 2 outs, base is empty. Mercado, first look at Fisher today. He's a right-handed batter. Nice pitch inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. And ball 2 is down low.
Exit velocity on Luke and Baker's home run, 96 miles an hour. 96 miles.
It'll be a 2-1 as Fisher fires home, and it's pulled foul past third. Right by Ben Johnson, their manager, who coaches third base. Redbirds in their road gray uniforms, Memphis across the front. Now the 2-2, swing and a miss. Chased a fastball away. So 3 strikeouts around the home run of Baker, 5 strikeouts in 2 innings for Nate Fisher. But Luke and Baker's first home run of the season has put the Redbirds on top. Eric Gonzalez leads off the Charlotte Knights here in the bottom of the second. 1-0 Redbirds. And the first pitch to Gonzalez is a strike. Gonzalez, Marisnick, and Hamilton, 3 newcomers to the team here in 23. Liberatore got out of a bases-loaded jam last inning. And now Baker's home run has put him in front 1-0. Throws a strike, and it's 0-2. Gonzalez last season played with the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp, Miami's AAA club. In fact, he was there the last couple of years. Here's the pitch. Foul ball to the right. First got to AAA with the Cleveland Indians. Now the Guardians, of course, but back then, the other name, and with the Columbus Clippers. Here's the 0-2. Swing and a miss at a curve for strike 3. Liberatore gets his 3rd strikeout. And it brings up Jake Marisnick. When I was driving into the ballpark today, I was kind of thinking to myself how many times I might make the mistake of going to break and maybe not saying Knights or Learfield. And I just went to break. It was just the second inning. It didn't take me long to make a mistake. Here's a line drive to left field that is going to be caught. Jake Marisnick hit it pretty hard, but caught in left field by Scott Hurst, and now 2 outs. So 1 week ago yesterday, just finished up calling the championship of the CBI down in Daytona Beach with the Charlotte 49ers. And, of course, you go to break there. Games brought to you from Learfield. So first game since, I was bound to do it. Here's the pitch, and it's going to be high and away. I should write myself notes and just tape them all over the booth with what I should say going to commercial break, because it becomes second nature. You just say it. 1 ball, no strikes on Billy Hamilton, and he takes a strike on the inside. 1-1. Hamilton, one of the fastest guys in the game, but what's kept him out of an everyday job in the major leagues. He just hasn't hit for average. Hasn't hit enough in the major leagues. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss. 1-2. We first saw him coming up with the Reds organization when he got to AAA. Now, give me a week, I'll be back in the swing of things and won't say Learfield anymore. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a pop-up back on a play. Stays 1-2 on Hamilton. On deck is Adam Hazley, 1-0 Redbirds here in the bottom of the second. Lights now taking full effect. Very nice night. Crowd still coming in. Sold out ballpark tonight on opening night. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a line drive center field. That'll be playable. Drifting back and making the catch is Mercado. And the Charlotte Knights, after loading the bases in the first inning, go out 1-2-3 here in the bottom of the second. We head to the third at the corner of Graham and MLK. Memphis leading Charlotte 1-0. This is Knights baseball from Beaver Sports. Top of three, the Charlotte Knights trail 1-0. Leading off the Redbirds is their left fielder, Scott Hurst, number 8 batter tonight in the opening night lineup. He's a lefty, so it's a left-on-left matchup as Fisher's first one is on the inside corner for a taken strike. Fastball at 91 that tailed back in on the inner third of the plate. And the next one is going to be down low, a breaking ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. And now ball 2 is outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Caracudo is on deck. And then it's up to the top of the batting order for a second time. Here's one down the middle, a fastball at 91 at the knees. Now it's 2-2. Fisher's already struck out 5 hitters. Of the 6 outs he has recorded, 5 have been strikeouts. Next one is hit in the air to left field. Well struck, but playable this time. And making the catch in front of the warning track is going to be Adam Hazley. Off the bat, it looked like it might travel a little bit further, but maybe 2 steps in front of the warning track. Hazley making the catch. Here's Caracudo, second baseman. Yuniel Caracudo. Up there batting right-handed. The lefty Fisher rocks into the windup, and his first one is inside. Moving the feet of Caracudo. So if Fisher's on about 80 to 88 pitch limit tonight, this is number 40 here unofficially. It's inside. He's in pretty good shape. 1 out here in the third. He'd like to at least get through 5, and at this rate might have a chance to see the 6th inning. Now the 2-0, swing and a miss. Yeah, the one thing, though, when you're striking batters out like he has, you're using 3, 4, 5 pitches during that at-bat to get the strikeout. And instead of getting a early in the at-bat out, here's the pitch. Swing and a slow foul. I always think about my old broadcast partner when I first got to Charlotte in AAA back in 1998. Tommy John, the old lefty. And Tommy still has the most wins of any pitcher in Major League Baseball not in the Hall of Fame, 288 wins. And he was not a strikeout pitcher. If he had struck out 3,000 batters during his career, he'd be in the Hall of Fame right now. But even though he has 288 wins, the knock on him was he played too long. And to me, that just is silly. How could you be in the big leagues for too long? I mean, he pitched 26 years in the major leagues. Here's the 2-2. Inside, almost hit him. And the count now 3-2. Well, he wasn't a strikeout pitcher. He threw that sinker. He was so good at it later in life when he was working for the Knights, he would throw BP every now and then. The guys hated hitting off him because his ball moved so much. Just that natural sinker. 3-2 the count. Here's the payoff. And strike 3 on the outside corner. It was a check swing. I don't believe they're calling the out on the swing. I think they're calling the out on the pitch, which is strikeout number 6 now for Nate Fisher. But Tommy would always tell me, why would I want to throw 4, 5, 6 pitches to get an out when I can throw a sinker, get a ground ball, and get an out in 1 and 2 pitches? I could pitch deeper into games. You didn't worry about strikeouts. Here's the top of the batting order. And the first pitch is high. Wynn opened the game by striking out. He's 0 for 1. He's a right-hander. The lefty Fisher on top of the mound looks in for a sign. It'll be a 1-0. And that's down the middle for a strike. Tommy also would say, you know, it was before the radar guns were so prevalent and how hard somebody was throwing. This is, you know, back in the mid-70s, 80s. He said, I could throw 90 miles an hour, swinging a foul at the plate. And back then, you threw in the 90s. That was pretty impressive. Now, of course, you got guys hitting triple digits regularly. But back then, Tommy said I could throw in the 90s, but then my fastball flattened out. It was straight, and you could hit it. So he didn't want to do that. He wanted to take a little something off and sink it, move it, and he got all those ground ball outs. Here's ball 2, missing away, 2-2. Hence, he didn't strike a lot of guys out. And that's why he's not in the Hall of Fame. Swing and a miss. There's a strikeout. Another one. He chased one in the dirt. That ball had some nasty movement in on the right-hander Wynn. And for 3 consecutive innings, Nate Fisher struck out at least 2. And we go to the bottom of the third here at Truist Field tonight, opening night. The Knights coming up with the Knights trailing 1-0. This is Charlotte Baseball from Beaver Sports. Home half of the third, leading off is Adam Hazer. The count is 0-1. Lefty on lefty as Liberatore's pitch is laced towards the gap in left center field. That one is going to hit the base of the wall. Picked up by Hurst, the left fielder. He throws it in, but not before. Standing on second base with a leadoff double is Adam Hazley. So Hazley now is 2 out of 2 here tonight. He opened the night's first inning with a base hit. Now he opens the home half of the third with a double off the left center field fence. That is the first extra base hit of the season for the Knights. And now the batter is Yolbert Sanchez. Knights now had 3 hits in the game against Liberatore. Now he steps off the rubber. And Sanchez will move around the box for a moment. First pitch is a breaking ball to Sanchez. He swings and misses. On deck is Jake Berger, then Lenine Sosa. Knights trailed by a run. The tying run's on second. And now a foul ball to the right field side, slicing back into the crowd. Sold out opening night crowd here tonight at Truist Field. It'll be an 0-2. High and away. That curve slipping out of the hand of Liberatore. Karakudo, the second baseman, shading up the middle. Hazley leads away. Stole a base in the first inning. Now the pitch, swing and a miss, and that'll be a strikeout. So both pitchers racking up the strikeouts. Second time he gets Sanchez. This is the first time swinging. And now the batter is going to be Jake Berger. 4 strikeouts for Liberatore. Liberatore, he's a guy that played his high school baseball in Arizona. First pitch, check swing, 1 around, says the home plate umpire. 1 strike on Berger. Jake had a base hit his first time out to left field. Went to Mountain Ridge High School in Glendale, Arizona, outside of Phoenix. He had committed to play college baseball for the University of Arizona. Now he throws to second base. The runner, Hazley, getting back. But he was a first-round pick of the Tampa Bay Rays and signed with the Rays. I sold $3.5 million signing bonus. Hazley takes off, pitch a strike, throw to third. He's out. That was a great throw by Herrera, the catcher, right on the money. Robertson putting the tag down. And it's a caught stealing. So now tonight, Hazley's been successful one time and out one time. 2 outs. The tying run is no longer in scoring position, no longer on base. And the count is 2 strikes on Jake Berger. That's being aggressive, trying to tie this game up. But now the bases are empty. Curveball swing and a miss. And the inning comes to an end as Berger strikes out. And now 5 strikeouts in 3 innings for Matthew Liberatore. Knight's got a double, but that's it. Nobody left on base. They do not score. We've played 3 innings. It's 1-0 Memphis. And this is Knights baseball from Beaver Sports. 2-3-4 coming up for the Memphis Redbirds as we move now to the top of the 4th inning. Matt Swarad with you on this Friday night here at Truist Field, opening night. Thanks for tuning in and joining us. Back in the studio is Clint Mitchell. Kramer Robertson leads off. Struck out looking back in the 1st inning against Nate Fisher. And the pitch is going to be inside to start off this 2nd at bat. So Robertson, again, we mentioned it during the opening inning. His mom is Kim Mulkey, head women's basketball coach at LSU. There's a ground ball to short. Gonzalez has it on to 1st, and Robertson is the 1st out here in the top of the 4th inning. 1-0 Redbirds. So LSU's playing tonight in the women's Final Four in Dallas, Texas. They're in halftime. Just went to halftime at American Airlines Arena, and Kim Mulkey's LSU Tigers are trailing by 2 to Virginia Tech. It's a good one, 34-32 at the half. Here's the pitch, and it's going to be outside. Of course, Kim Mulkey won national titles as the head coach of Baylor before taking on the challenge of LSU back in her home state. Here's a swing and a miss. She was a great college player back at Louisiana Tech. Late 70s, early 80s. Here's the pitch outside. 2-1 on Juan Yepes, who grounded out ending the 1st inning. Here's the pitch in the dirt, and now 3-1. The second game tonight's a really good one. You've got Iowa against the South Carolina Gamecocks, who are undefeated, have not lost all season. 2 of the best players in women's college basketball going head-to-head in that game. Swing and a foul off to the right. Collins of Iowa and Boston of USC. 3-2 the count on Yepes. Men's Final Four tomorrow. What a tournament it's been. How about those FAU Owls? Here's the 3-2. Swing, line drive, right field. And that is a base hit. So Yepes 1 for 2. That is just the 2nd hit given up by Nate Fisher. The other one was the home run that Lucan Baker hit. And now here comes Donnie Veal and Justin Jersley and the Knights trainer out to the mound. And maybe they saw something with Nate Fisher after that last pitch they didn't like. Fisher's just on top of the mound kicking some dirt around in front of the pitching rubber. Maybe it was something where he landed that just didn't seem right. I didn't notice him slip at all, but could have slipped and maybe just grabbed something quickly, but I think he's saying he's okay. Heon Kim is the new Knights head athletic trainer, and Fisher's saying he's okay. But they want him to throw at least one practice pitch to see if he's okay, and he does, and he says, yeah, I'm good, guys. I'm good. Want to continue. So on first base with 1 down is Juan Yepes. Again, just the 2nd hit that Fisher's given up in this game. And here's Moises Gomez. Double play ball gets the Knights out of the inning. Top of the fourth inning right now. It's 1-0 Memphis. This will be the 59th pitch unofficially that Fisher's thrown tonight. Now the pitch up high. 1 ball, no strikes. Yepez at first base. Not a big threat to run. Being held on by Jake Berger. The lefty kicks and delivers, and it's hit in the air to right field. Drifting back is Marisnik to the edge of the warning track. He will straighten up and make the catch. Yepez had gone back and tagged up at first base, but stays there as the throw comes into the second baseman Sosa. Out number 2. Just the second fly ball out that Fisher has recorded so far tonight. He has struck out 7. Not a lot of Redbirds putting the ball in play tonight. 7 strikeouts. This is the first inning so far in which he has not had at least 1 strikeout. He's had at least 2 in every inning until this inning, and that's not going to happen because there's already 2 outs. Strike 1 on the outside corner to Ivan Herrera, who struck out swinging back in the second. Right before Baker hit the home run. Redbirds on that home run lead 1-0. There goes Yepez. Pitch is high. Throw to second base. Not a good one. And it goes into the outfield, but backed up by Hamilton. Not a good throw that time by Perez, but Yepez had a pretty good jump. He was going to steal that bag regardless of the throw. So with 2 down, Redbirds now with a base runner in scoring position. Fisher out of the stretch, looking in to get a sign from Perez. Working towards the middle of the pitching rubber, and he throws a breaking ball down low. The count is 2 balls and a strike on Herrera. Batted .267 a year ago. 6 home runs and 34 runs knocked in. The kick and the pitch. That is at the knees for a taken strike. Off speed again. That'll even things at 2-2 with 2 down. Yepez leading away at second base. Left side of the infield plane back. Fisher kicks, throws, and it's fouled away. This one on the right side of the ballpark. Memphis, the top farm team of the St. Louis Cardinals. Yepez, the runner on second, has the St. Louis Cardinal logo on his red baseball socks. Has his pants blouse right below his knees and shows a lot of the red baseball sock that has become so well known with the Cardinals uniforms. Memphis is the same colors. That bright red. Count 2-2. Inside ball 3. Baker is on deck. Top of the fourth inning, 1-0 Memphis. It'll be a 3-2, and it's inside for ball 4. And that'll be the first walk by Fisher today. But now runners on first and second base for Luken Baker with that very high towering home run in his first at bat. Hit it to left field. And he takes a fastball inside for ball 1. 1-0 on the big right-hander. Fisher's pitch count now at 67. Lefty deals. Swing and a miss. He challenged him with a fastball again. That was 91 miles an hour by the swing of Baker. Yepez on second base. Herrera's on first leading away. Infield back. Second baseman shading near the bag. Now the pitch. Strike on the outside. 3 straight fastballs. And the count now 1-2 on Baker. Fisher comes set below the belt. He delivers a 1-2, and Baker fouls it away. Big swing. That was a fastball again. So he's seen 4 consecutive fastballs from Nate Fisher. Last season, Fisher struck out 40 batters in 56 innings with the Syracuse Mets. So not really a strikeout pitcher. But tonight he has fanned 7 in the first 3 innings. The pitch is lined to left field, down the line, running after it. Hazley, he's not going to get there, and it's going to get by him and go to the wall. Scoring is going to be Yepes. They're sending Herrera, and he will also score all the way from first base, and that puts the Redbirds out in front now 3-0. And Lucan Baker has knocked in all 3 Redbirds runs. Hit it right down the line, out of the reach of Hazley, then it hit the warning track and scooted by Adam all the way to the wall. Good start to the season by Lucan Baker. Mercado, the batter. He sends one to left field down the line. That's a fair ball. Bouncing in the corner. Coming in is going to be Baker. And Mercado's on second base. Back-to-back RBI doubles for the Memphis Redbirds, and now it's 4-0. And you wonder if Fisher just might be getting tired. His pitch count at 73. Donnie Veal going out to the mound. Nobody yet in the bullpen, but they're about to get somebody up and down in that Charlotte Knights bullpen, which is down the right field line here at Truist Field. So in the inning, a single, a 2-out walk, followed by a 2-run double, and another RBI double. And it's now 4-0. J.B. Olson, who spent last season with the Knights, is now getting up, and he's going to start throwing in the bullpen.
Now the Charlotte Knights, number 20, J.B. Olson. 20, J.B. Olson warming up for the Knights.
Scott Hurst will be next to face Nate Fisher. Donnie Veal back in the dugout. This is a lefty-on-lefty matchup. Hurst, a fly ball to left field, his first at bat. And the pitch is low and away. Runner took off for third. The throw to third, not in time. Mercado swipes third base with 2 down. Second stolen base this inning by a Redbird. Yepes swipes second base earlier in the frame. 1 ball, no strikes. Next one is a strike taken on the inside corner. A fastball at 91. So Yepes, Herrera, and Baker have scored. Mercado's at third. Swing and a miss. Again, a fastball to count 1-2. Caracudo is on deck. We're in the top of the 4th inning. Pitch number 75 coming from Fisher. He sets, kicks, and fires home, and it's down and away. Nice block by Perez. Two and two. And now the pitch. Just missed outside, and Fisher started to walk towards the dugout. Thought he had a strikeout. And again, if the challenge system was in play tonight, that would have been challenged. It was very close. Instead, it's ball 3, and the count is now full. The payoff, swing and a miss. There's a strikeout. Fastball up. He chased it. Strikeout number 8 today for Fisher. And that ends the 4th inning. But in this inning, a big inning for the Redbirds. They get 3 runs, 3 hits and a walk, and a man left at third. And after 3.5 innings here on opening night, it is 4-0 Memphis. You're listening to Knights Baseball from Beaver Sports. Home half of the fourth inning, and leading off is Lenine Sosa. He's going to take a strike. Memphis has the early lead tonight, 4-0. Next one is line to right field. That'll be a base hit over the first baseman, Baker. Played in by Yepes, but a leadoff hit by Lenine Sosa. He had walked his first time, so he's been on base both plate appearances, and now the batter is Carlos Perez, who his first time up struck out. That was with the bases loaded. He was the second out back in the opening inning. Knights had loaded the bases with one out, but then Liberatore struck out Perez and got Remillard to bounce back to the mound. Here's a fly ball to right field. Playable for Yepes. He'll make the catch. Throw to second, back to first is Sosa. He got about halfway to second base, but he was able to easily get back. So here's Remillard for a second time. Zach Remillard, who played his college baseball at Coastal Carolina, part of that Chanticleer's national championship team. Pitch is high and away, 1 ball, no strikes. One and nothing on Remillard. Swing and a pop-up down the right field line. Baker going after it, and that's going to get back in the seats over that big net. And back in the seats down by the Charlotte Knights bullpen, where J.B. Olson is still warming up. So Nate Fisher is going to be done for the night, it looks like. Goes 4 innings, strikes out 8, but gives up 4 runs as the Knights trail 4-0. And J.B. Olson looks like he'll be coming in to begin the 5th inning. One ball and 1 strike to Remillard. Tossed to first base, and getting back is Sosa. Eric Gonzalez is next. He'll be followed by Marisnik. Here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Left side of the infield playing back for the Birds, and the pitch is going to be outside. A big curve outside. The count is 2-1. Next one is inside ball 3, just missing with a fastball at 94 miles an hour. So Tampa Bay drafted Liberatore in the first round, 2018. But then they traded him to the St. Louis Cardinals. Here's the 3-1. Inside, he walked him. Just missed the inside corner with a fastball. And now runners on first and second base for the Charlotte Knights, and it brings up Eric Gonzalez. So the trade was on January 9th of 2020, and Liberatore was traded to St. Louis along with Edgardo Rodriguez, and the Rays competitive balance round B draft pick in exchange for Jose Martinez. Swing and a foul by Gonzalez, strike 1. And Randy Arozarena, and the Cardinals competitive balance round A draft pick. Of course, Randy Arozarena with Tampa Bay has had some huge postseason games since Tampa picked him up. Here's the pitch, and it's a strike on the outside corner. And the Cardinals are hoping Liberatore is a big part of their pitching staff in the big leagues for a long time to come. It could be a win-win on both sides of that trade when things are all said and done. Here's the 0-2, and it's up high. One and 2. And the pitch to Gonzalez. Swing, little fly ball, flare fly ball to center. Coming in to make the catch is Mercado. He throws it back into the infield of the shortstop. And the runners stay put. Sosa on second, Remillard on first base. Gonzalez on that shallow fly ball to center is the second out of the inning. And it brings up now Jake Marisnik. Pitch to Marisnik is up high. He's 0 for 1 in the game. Lined out to left field. He was the second out in the second inning. Knights have stranded 3 runners. Have not scored yet. Trail 4-0 here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Marisnik swings and misses at an off-speed pitch. Slow breaking ball at 75 miles an hour. Liberatore struck out 5. He's walked 2. He's given up 4 hits but no runs. Lefty sets above the belt, now delivers, and a swing and a miss. Same pitch, same result with that pitch to Marisnik, and the count is now 1-2 on the Charlotte Knights right fielder, making his Knights debut tonight. Stands deep in that right-handed batter's box. The 0-2 is inside and blocked by Herrera. So 2-2 on Marisnik. Marisnik is 32 years old now. Played 31 games last season with the Pittsburgh Pirates in the major leagues. Batting .234 with the Buccos. 2-2, check swing. Did he go? They appealed down to first base, and he did, they say. And the catcher's going to just tag him. That is strike 3. And the Knights again are turned away here in the 4th inning. Strikeout number 6 for Matthew Liberatore. 1 hit, 1 walk, and 2 left, but no runs. And after 4 innings tonight, it is 4-0 Memphis. This is Knights baseball from Beaver Sports. Well, moving along, we head to the top half of the 5th inning. Leading off is Karakudo, now batting from the left side against the new pitcher, right-hander J.B. Olson. And the first one was a strike, and the second one just missed off the inside half of the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike. So J.B. Olson, right-handed pitcher. He deals a 1-1, swing and a miss. Olson last season was a starter and a reliever for the Charlotte Knights. He joined the Knights early in the year after opening the season at Double-A Birmingham. Here's a foul ball behind the plate. And spent the rest of the season pretty much with the Charlotte Knights. One, two, and that is inside. When the Knights later in the summer went to that kind of hybrid opener type of role with their pitching staff, he made a lot of spot starts. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss, and he struck him out. So Karakudo strikes out for a second time. Struck out against Nate Fisher. And now he strikes out against J.B. Olson. Brings up the top of the batting order. Here's Wynn. He struck out twice against Fisher. So Nate Fisher in his Knights debut, 4 innings, 4 hits, 4 runs all earned. Here's a ground ball foul, third base. 1 walk, and he struck out 8 batters through 79 pitches. And if it wasn't for Lucan Baker, had a pretty good night. Baker a home run in the second and a 2-run double in the 4th inning. Here's a foul at home plate, and the count is 2 strikes on Wynn. Nobody throwing in the Redbirds bullpen, so Liberatore's going to come back out and pitch the bottom of the 5th inning. The Knights now into their bullpen here in the top of the 5th inning. Wynn had fouled that ball off his lower body and now trying to walk it off, but tells their manager coaching third base that he's okay and gets back in the batter's box. Olson drops down 3/4. The pitch line to left field. That's a base hit and played back in by Hazley. So a hard line drive base hit to left field puts Wynn on base, a 1-out single. He's now 1 for 3, and it brings up Kramer Robertson. Well, we mentioned LSU, coached by his mom, Kim Mulkey, was down 2 at halftime in the Final Four tonight against Virginia Tech. Here's a foul left side. The lead has been extended by the Hokies over LSU. 53-46 right now, just over 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. They play quarters in women's college basketball, not 2 20-minute halves, but 4 quarters. So the Hokies extending their lead right now. No balls and a strike. Now the pitch outside. Hokies having a great season in the ACC. Their first ever Final Four. Pitch to Kramer's inside. Now Kramer played for LSU, was a tremendous player for the Bengal Tigers. Two one, swing and a foul back. So now 2-2 on Kramer Robertson. Struck out in the first, bounced to short, leading off in the fourth. Now batting here in the fifth inning. Yepes is on deck. Right now 4-0 Memphis in the top of the fifth. Game 1 of a 3-game series. One of 2 3-game series for the Knights this season. Here's a strike taken, and he knew it. Fastball in the outside corner, so Olson strikes him out. 2 outs in the inning. Right before the All-Star, actually right after the All-Star break, I should say, they'll have a 3-game series at Lehigh Valley. A Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Just like this one. Everything else will be 6-game series for the Charlotte Knights. Pitch to Juan Yepes. Hit on the ground, second base, and Sosa's got it. Throws to first in time, and the inning is over. So J.B. Olson working a scoreless fifth inning. Gave up a hit, but that is all. 1 man left on base, and we're halfway through it here on opening night. With some work to do for the Charlotte Knights, they trail Memphis 4-0. This is Knights baseball from Beaver Sports. Bottom of the fifth inning, Charlotte trails Memphis 4-0. Billy Hamilton leads off. The ninth place hitter lined out to center field his first time around, and he follows the first pitch past third base. So Liberatore, who's here in the fifth still pitching, has only thrown 60 pitches tonight. He's walked a couple, struck out 6 batters. This one is up high. Has a 4-run lead, trying to get through at least 5. Number 4 rated prospect in the Cardinals organization coming into the season. Now the 1-1 pitch is outside. So after being traded by Tampa to the Cardinals in 2020, didn't pitch in the 2020 season because it was canceled. The COVID pandemic canceling that 2020 baseball season. Here's ball 3 missing inside on the right-hand batting Hamilton. And was assigned out of spring in 21 to AAA Memphis. Here's the 3-1. Foul ball. In May of that 21 season was also part of the U.S. Olympic team. Here's the 3-2. Swinging a foul back on a play. Was placed on the temporary inactive list in May to go play with the U.S. Olympic team. Of course, the Knights, Eddie Alvarez and Anthony Carter, a couple of former Knights players, part of that U.S. Olympic team. Here's a swing and a high pop-up on the right side, shallow into right field. Yepes coming in and making the catch. Hamilton's the first down of the inning. There's Adam Hazley, top of the batting order. Hazley 2 out of 2 today. Knights have 4 hits. He has half of them. A single in the first inning and a double in the third. Lefty against a lefty. And the first pitch is down and away. He swung at the first pitch in the first inning and swung at the second pitch with that double his second time around. Here's the 1-0. Outside. So he's been aggressive early in the count, the first couple of at-bats, and right now he trails. Actually, he's up in the count 2-0 this third at-bat. Yolbert Sanchez on deck. And ball 3 bouncing outside. Knocked down by Herrera. So with Hazley up, it's the top of the batting order for a third time now for the Charlotte Knights. 4 runs, 5 hits for the Redbirds. No runs, 4 hits for the Charlotte Knights. 3-0 delivery. And that's down the middle, strike 1. So Team USA, of course, qualified for the Olympics. Liberatore was not actually on the final Olympic roster. Here's a swing and a miss. Had to go back to the Cardinals. Lack of depth in the Cardinals system. They needed some pitching. Here's a swing and a foul back. But then in June, he was selected to represent the Cardinals at the All-Star Futures game. That season, 9-9, a 4+ ERA, low 4s. Here's a fly ball to center field. And out number 2 in the inning as Mercado makes the catch. And for the first time tonight, Adam Hazley is out, and it brings up Yolbert Sanchez at a 4.04 ERA. And the Cardinals, after that 21 season, named him their minor league pitcher of the year. Had 123 strikeouts and 124 and 2/3 innings of work. First pitch outside, ball 1 on the right-hand batting Sanchez, who was struck out twice tonight. There's ball 2, just missing off the inside, 95 miles an hour. Went back to Memphis last season, went 3-3 at 3.83 ERA. The Cardinals announced on May 19th they'd be selecting his contract and promoting him to the major leagues. There's a fastball for a strike. Made his major league debut on May 21st. The Cardinals starting pitcher against the Pirates. He pitched 4 2/3 innings that day against Pittsburgh. Here's the 2-1. Foul ball down the right field side. 7 hits, 4 runs, 2 walks that day. And they optioned him back the next day to Memphis. But got recalled 1 day later when Steven Matz was placed on the injured list. The 2-2, swing and a foul, straight back. Got his first major league win May 29th. 5 scoreless innings against the Milwaukee Brewers. And option back to AAA after spring this year to once again start the season with the Redbirds. Here's the 2-2. Check swing, foul ball at home plate. Stays 2-2 on Sanchez. Got to believe at some point Liberatore will be back up with the Cardinals this season. Just 23 years old. Now Nolan Gorman, who we saw last year, he's in the big leagues now with the Cardinals. These two guys have been best of friends since they were 5 years old. Coming up in the Cardinals system, they both have the ultimate goal of playing in the major leagues together. Again, a foul at the plate by Sanchez. The count staying 2-2. Gorman, a first-round pick of the Cardinals in 2018. Been friends since they were 5 years old. Here's a ground ball, and it's foul, third base. Liberatore is 23 years old. Pitching very well tonight, has a 4-run lead. 2 outs, nobody on base here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Nobody throwing in the Redbirds bullpen as of yet. Unofficially, 73 pitches thrown by Liberatore. Out of the windup, looks in, gets the side, and now delivers a 2-2 to Sanchez. Swing and a miss, struck him out. That's 98. Dialing up a little extra on that fastball. On the outside half, he got him a chase and 3 strikeouts for Sanchez tonight. And then a strikeout number 7 for Liberatore. And he has his second 1-2-3 inning. At the end of 5 innings of play, Memphis 4, Charlotte nothing. This is Knights Baseball from Beaver Sports.
Charlotte Knights experience the
Now back in the corner of Graham and MLK, it's 4-0 Memphis. Olson back on to work the top of the 6th inning, and they count 1-1 on Moises Gomez. So Gomez leading off, then Herrera, followed by Baker. Middle 3 in the Redbirds batting order. 4-5-0 for Memphis. 0-4-0 for Charlotte. Olson's 2nd inning of work, the righty delivers. Half swing, they appeal down to first base, and he did not go. That is ball 2, 2-1. Looks like Libertor's night is over, and it was a very good one. 5 innings of 4-hit shutout baseball. Scattering 4 hits. Here's the pitch. Up high. So 3 balls and a strike now on Gomez. And he swings away 3-1, rolls 1 to third. Sanchez to first, and he throws him out. Had to charge in to scoop that one and made a good throw on the run. 5-3 put out, and that is the first out here in the top of the 6th inning. And it now brings up Ivan Herrera. That was the first chance tonight down at third base for Sanchez. Got a right-hander warming up in the bullpen for the Redbirds. There's the pitch. Foul ball back. Game 1 of a 3-game weekend series. Again, 7:04 tomorrow. And a day game on Sunday. It'll be an 0-1. And that is off the outside. First game for new Knights manager Justin Jersley as he looks on with Knights first base dugout. And the pitch here is up high. Game time on Sundays, 1:05. So 7:04 tomorrow, 1:05 coming up on Sunday afternoon. Here's the pitch. That's a strike. Sunday's a bark in the park, the first one of the season, presented by Williams Subaru. There's a swing and a miss, and down he goes. Off-speed pitch running away from the right-hander. That's now 3 strikeouts for J.B. Olson. Between the two pitchers, Fisher and now Olson, they've combined to strike out 11 Redbirds hitters. And it brings up Lucan Baker, who's been a thorn on the side of the Knights. Home run and a 2-run double. He sends this pitch in the air to right. Down the right side, the first baseman, Berger, is going to make the catch on the edge of the outfield grass. So a pop-up on the right side, not deep, and on the edge of the outfield grass, Berger makes the catch. 1, 2, 3 go out the Redbirds. First time that J.B. Olson has set them down in order. We played 5.5 innings, and the Redbirds of Memphis have a 4-0 lead. This is Knights baseball from Beaver Sports. New pitcher here in the 6th inning is Tommy Parsons for the Memphis Redbirds, facing Jake Berger. First pitch is ball 1. Parsons is a right-hander. Berger, Sosa, and Perez for the Charlotte Knights. And Berger takes down low. Jake today has a single and a strikeout. Parsons, 27 years old, 6'4", 220. He's a big guy. Last season, 12 wins. He was 12-4, 4.31 ERA. Here's the 2-0. And it's hit foul down the right side and back out of play. Started 17 games last season. 135 and 2/3 innings. Struck out 110. And the pitch to Berger's going to miss. 93 miles an hour, but ball 3. 102 games in his professional career before tonight. 30 wins, 20 losses overall. 3-1, swing and a ground ball. Out to shortstop. Wynn has it, throws to first. And that'll be the first out here in the Charlotte 6th inning. Lifetime of 4.10 ERA. In 432 innings of work. Parsons gets the first, and here comes Lenyn Sosa. He has walked and singled. Redbirds lead 4-0 here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Starting pitcher Matthew Liberatore was terrific. Here's a curveball, strike one. Liberatore went 5 innings, 4 hits, no runs. He walked 2, struck out 7 batters, and he threw 82 pitches. That's a pretty solid first outing. Swing and a miss at a fastball. 0-2. Carlos Perez is next. The 2-strike serve is hit on the ground up the middle, and Wynn won't get that one. That is a base hit. Second time tonight, the Knights have had a base hit through the middle, where in years past there would have been some kind of shift on most likely, and would have been somebody there, but can't shift anymore. Got to have 2 infielders on the dirt on each side of the second base bag. Now you can shade up the middle. They weren't doing that. They were playing them straight away, and base hit right up the middle. So Sosa's still perfect. 2 singles and a walk in the game, and here comes Carlos Perez, who's 0 for 2. Right matchup, and the pitch is going to be ball 1. Charlotte now 5 hits in the game. There's activity in the Knights bullpen. Here's a ground ball. That's going to be in the hole and past the diving Wynn at short into left field. A base hit for Perez. Stopping on second base is Lenyn Sosa. And the Charlotte Knights have 2 on base now with 1 down. The tying runs in the on-deck circle. And the batter is going to be Remillard, who tonight has grounded back to the mound and walked. Carlos Perez has his first hit of the season. Eric Gonzalez on deck. Righty against a righty as Remillard stands in there. And the pitch to him is going to be looked at for ball 1. One and nothing on Zach Remillard. And he takes a strike. Off-speed pitch. Looked that one in the glove of the catcher, Ivan Herrera. Now the Knights ended the season last year losing 4 straight to this Memphis club. Now opening up the 23 campaign. And they trailed by 4 on the in the first game of the season here in the bottom of the 6th inning, but still plenty of time, plenty of at-bats left in this game. Count now 2-1 on Remillard. Parsons looks in, works off the far first base side of the pitching rubber. Big 6'4" right-hander sets at the belt. Knights have runners on first and second base. Here's the pitch, and it's fouled back. Again off speed, and Remillard was out in front, pops it foul behind the plate. Two. Outside with the breaking ball again. Slow curve at 71. Tommy Parsons, born in Columbus, Ohio. The Knights will be in Columbus on Monday night, and they'll play on Tuesday to start a 6-game series with the Columbus Clippers. Cleveland Guardians AAA club. Here's the 3-2, and before the pitch, time was granted to the hitter Remillard. It'll be the Knights' first trip to Columbus and Huntington Park since 2019. Went to Louisville last season. They'll be in Louisville again this year, later in April. Haven't been to Indianapolis or Toledo since 2019. Here's the pitch, and it's hit on the ground to shortstop. Second base out. Here's the turn. Out at first base, double play. The Knights again make some noise, but unable to get anybody across the plate. That double play, 6-4-3. The first one bounced into this season by the Charlotte Knights. They get 2 hits, leave 1 after 6 innings. It's 4-0 Memphis. We head to the top of the 7th. This is Knights baseball from Beaver Sports. Top of the 7th inning, the Knights have gone to the pen for a second time. New pitcher coming in is Frank Herman, making his Knights debut. Herman will face Mercado, Hurst, and Kirakudo, the bottom 3 in the Redbirds order. 7th inning, it's 4-0 Memphis. Herman's a right-handed pitcher. Works out of the stretch, and his first one here is going to be fouled away by Mercado. Herman, 25 years old. He is from Queens, New York, now lives in Tampa, Florida. 4th-round pick of the Yankees back in June of 2018. Mercado, an RBI double to left field in the 4th inning. He's 1 for 2 in the game. Kid growing up in Queens, it must have been a thrill to be drafted by one of the New York teams, although he was a Mets fan, I believe. Drafted by the Yankees. Pitch inside, 1-1. White Sox got Herman from the Red Sox in a trade back in February. Here's the 1-1. Fastball outside, 97 miles an hour. Herman did pitch in 5 games with the Red Sox last year out of the bullpen. 4 innings, 7 hits, 8 runs. In AAA Worcester, 32 games, was 2-1 with a 2.58 ERA. Good numbers with the Woo Sox. Fastball again, but missing away. Ball 3-1. 11 games at AA Portland, Maine, but 32 in Worcester and 5 in Boston. The Yankees traded him to the Red Sox, one of the rare trades made by the Yankees and the Red Sox together. Here's a strike. 96 taken on the outside corner. That was back in January of 2021. He and Adam Ottavino sent to Boston for cash considerations. Here's the 3-2 swing and a miss. Chased a fastball up and away, and Herman fans Mercado, and it brings up Hurst. Memphis leading right now 4-0 at the top of the 7th inning. Scott Hurst hitless today, 0 for 2. He's flied out and struck out. Herman deals, and it's inside ball 1. More activity down in the Redbirds bullpen. Here's the pitch. That's going to be in for a strike. That first game of the doubleheader tonight, women's Final Four. LSU's taking the lead on Virginia Tech late in the 4th quarter down in Dallas. Here's the pitch inside. 1:17 to play. 6-point lead for LSU, 74-68. Again, Kramer Robertson, the Redbirds' third baseman. His mom is the head coach at LSU. Here's a swing and a foul back. Trying to punch their ticket into the finals, which will be on Sunday. And the winner of this game will take on the winner of the next game, which is Iowa and South Carolina. 2-2 on Hurst. The pitch, and that just missed inside at 97. Herman throws hard. Herman played 3 seasons of college baseball for the Ospreys at the University of North Florida. There's a foul in the batter's box. The Ospreys in the Atlantic Sun Conference out of Jacksonville, Florida. The pitch fouled away. Last season was the first full year being a reliever for Herman. And now back in that role to begin this season. Pitch is down low. He walked him on a 3-2 down the way. So Hurst is on base for the first time. 1-out walk here in the 7th inning, and it brings up Karakudo, who has been up twice, and now facing his 3rd different pitcher in his 3rd at bat of the game. Struck out looking in the 3rd against Nate Fisher. Struck out swinging in the 5th against J.B. Olson, and now he's batting here in the 7th inning against his 3rd pitcher, Herman. First 1-1, runner takes off, no throw. Not sure if Perez didn't have a great grip on the ball or not, but no throw down. And a stolen base of second base by Hurst as they look to tack on a big insurance run here in the 7th inning. They lead right now 4-0 and trying to tack on another. Infield playing the lefty to pull. And the pitch to him is going to be a strike taken on the inside corner. Evens things at 1 ball and 1 strike. So credit Hurst a stolen base. He's on second, leading away. 1 down. The pitch. Down low, pops out of the glove of Perez. Hurst breaks for 3rd. The throw down. He's going to be out at 3rd base. Great recovery by Carlos Perez. And a terrific throw to the bag at 3rd base. Sanchez put the tag on Hurst. So he's out trying to advance in that ball. The put out 2-5. Base is now empty. And the count 2-1 on Karakudo. Out of the stretch, Herman kicks and throws, and it's lifted behind 3rd. A high pop-up down the line, foul ground. Coming over the left fielder, leaping into the netting was Adam Hazley, but he could not make the catch. What an effort by Adam Hazley. Ended up in the first row of seats, the net helping him not fall in the lap of a fan. And Jesus okay, gets up and had a big smile on his face as he heads back out to left field. That was a great effort. 2-2 on Karakudo. Lefty back in the box, and now Herman sets, letter high, delivers up high. And the second consecutive full count worked by Herman. Here's the 3-2. Foul ball back. Challenged him with a fastball at 96, and Karakudo fouled it back. Three and 2 on Karakudo. Herman sets, kicks and throws. Swing and a miss. High heater got him, 98 miles an hour. And the inning is over. No runs, no hits, a walk, and nobody left on base. 7th inning stretch time here on opening night. 7th inning stretch brought to you by Ortho Carolina. The Charlotte Knights coming up. They trail Memphis 4-0 here at Truist Field on opening night. This is Knights baseball from Beaver Sports. Bottom of the 7th now. Charlotte coming up. They trail 4-0. New pitcher on the mound, James Nail, taking over for the Redbirds.
Now on
veteran right-hander.
Number 32, Declan Cronin.
Here's the pitch, and it's swung on by Gonzalez, and Baker, the first baseman, comes off the bag to field that, flipping to the pitcher, covering as Nail got over. One pitch, and Eric Gonzalez is retired. Put out 3-1, and it brings up Marisnik. Tommy Parsons went an inning, 2 hits, no runs, no walks, no strikeouts. And now Nail's the third Memphis pitcher tonight. 30 years old. Back in 2015, a 20th round pick. He went to UAB, the UAB Blazers. There's the pitch. In for a strike in Conference USA. And come this July, they'll be moving with 5 other schools from Conference USA into the AAC. Here's the 0-1. That'll be a strike. 0-2 on Marisnik, who was lined out and struck out. Speaking of UAB, they lost the championship game of the NIT last night to North Texas. Here's a swing and a foul. It was an all-conference USA final in the NIT. Nobody's been talking about it, but what a postseason Conference USA has had. 18-2 going into the Final Four tomorrow with FAU. They'll be playing San Diego State. Here's a fastball down low. 1 ball and 2 strikes. But all those schools that went 18-2 are leaving and going to the AAC. So good news, bad news for Conference USA. Pitch outside. Now 2-2 on Marisnik. Billy Hamilton is next. Declan Cronin, the former Holy Cross College star, is warming up in the bullpen. Made his AAA debut in Worcester last year at Polar Park. Swing and a miss, and down goes Marisnik. 2 outs. Of course, Holy Cross College is in Worcester, Massachusetts. Or as they say up there, Worcester. Not far from Polar Park. Here's Billy Hamilton. 2 outs in the inning. Knights down 4 in the 7th. Trying to get something going. Sold out house. Trying to give him something to cheer about. Pitch to Hamilton. That is inside. Ball 1. Hamilton's a switch hitter. 32 years old now, but still can run. Takes a strike on the inside corner. Last season, Hamilton played for the Marlins and the Twins in the major leagues. 20 games with Miami, 17 with Minnesota. Fouls this one off the inside of his right foot. He'll walk that off, and the count now 1-2 on Hamilton. It was from Taylorsville, Mississippi. James Nail on the mound. Nail's 30 years old. A couple of veteran guys going head-to-head here. Nail's 6'2", 193. Right-handed pitcher looks in for the side. Base is empty. Count 1-2. And he struck him out looking. Oh, backdoor slider right there. And Hamilton fans, he's 0 for 3. And the Knights here in the 7th inning go out in order. We head to the top of the 8th here at the corner of Graham and MLK. Declan Cronin's going to come on to pitch. Memphis 4, Charlotte nothing. This is Knights baseball from Beaver Sports. 8th inning here at Truist Field. Declan Cronin coming on to pitch. Right-hander making his season debut here on opening night. And his first one's going to be in for a strike. Top of the batting order for the Redbirds, Wynn, Robertson, and Yepes. Redbirds 4, Knights nothing here in the 8th inning. Now Cronin delivers, and it's fouled away. He's the 4th Charlotte pitcher tonight. The starter, Fisher, he pitched the first 4 innings, gave up all 4 runs, 3 coming in 1 frame. Just had 1 hitter he really struggled with. Outside of that, Fisher was very good. Here's a foul ball back. 0-2 on Wynn. Cronin from Jersey. Played collegiately in Worcester, Massachusetts. Holy Cross College. Foul ball to the right. In the Patriot League, oh, and 2 on Win. Right matchup. Now the pitch. And Cronin just missed outside. He thought he had it, looking into the umpire, saying, hey, where was that pitch? And again, no ABS, no challenge here tonight. Until every team in the league has the technology, they're not going to do it. 1-2. On the ground to second base. A big 2-hop grounder. And making the play at second was Sosa. Throws to first base for the out. 1 up, 1 down. Last season, this ballpark, Truist Field, was the only park in the International League that had the ABS system, and we used it all season long. But now it's going to be in every park in AAA. And in the International League, it's not been installed in all the other 19 parks yet. They hope to have it all up and running by the end of April, so about 3 weeks. Here's the pitch. Line to right, slicing. It is a fair ball in the chalk. Hit the sidewall and stayed put. And going to second base where they double is Kramer Robertson. That's his first hit tonight. He's now 1 for 4. And it brings up Juan Yepes. And a final note on Robertson with LSU tonight. Again, his mom, Kim Mulkey, is the head coach of the LSU women's basketball team. And they just about 5 minutes ago wrapped up their game in the Final Four against Virginia Tech. They were trailing for most of the game, but in the fourth quarter rallied and won the game. Here's the strike, runner going, throw to third. He's out. The third baseman, Sanchez, slipped making the catch, but sitting on the ground, he reached back, a no-look tag, and he tagged out Robertson. It's a caught stealing, 2-5. I just see a replay of that. Here it comes. That's his replay as he makes the catch, slips, falls down, and tags without even looking, just kind of sweeps back behind him. And he got Robertson coming in. 2 outs in the inning. 2-5 on the out. And this pitch to Yepes is inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. So LSU won. That means his mom, Kim Mulkey, will play for the national championship with their LSU Bengal Tigers on Sunday against the winner of the game coming up, which is Iowa against South Carolina. There's ball 2 inside. Both pitches coming in on the right-hander Yepes. Gomez on deck. Yepes, a single and a run scored today. And now he takes ball 3. 3-1. Home run by Baker in the second. And then 3 runs in the 4th inning. 2-run double by Baker. And the RBI double by Mercado. For the 4 Memphis runs tonight. We're at the top of the 8th inning right now. 4-0 still as the Redbirds lead. 2 outs, nobody on base, and Cronin comes set, now delivers. Swing and a miss. Fastball at 94. Right by Yepes. So it's a full count on the Redbirds right fielder. Spent a lot of time with the Cardinals last season in the major leagues. Here's the payoff pitch from Declan Cronin. Chopped foul behind the plate. Took something off that one. Cronin is 6'4", 225. 25 years old. Double A and Triple A last season. And back in Triple A with the Knights to begin 23. Again a 3-2, and Yepes swings and misses. Strikeout, a fastball on the inside at 95. Tying him up on the inside half of the plate. And Cronin has himself a scoreless 8th inning. No runs, 1 hit. The double by Robertson, but he's out at third trying to steal. Nobody left on base. Middle of 8 here at Truist Field. 4-0 Redbirds. This is Knights baseball from Beaver Sports. Bottom of the 8th inning, and now the Redbirds have gone to the bullpen again. They bring in left-hander JoJo Romero, who will face the top of the batting order, Hazley, Sanchez, and Berger. So it's a lefty-on-lefty matchup with Adam Hazley. And the first pitch is strike 1. Hazley has a single, a double, and a flyout. Right now, 4-0 Memphis in the last of the 8th. The pitch, that's low. These two teams played 18 times last season, with the Redbirds winning 11 of the 18, including the last 4. Redbirds went 7-5 here at Truist Field. Pitch is down low. 1 ball, now 2 balls and 1 strike on Adam Hazley. Gilbert Sanchez is next. Each team has 6 hits, but the Knights haven't scored yet. They've stranded 6 on base. Foul ball back on a play. Their best scoring opportunity came in the first inning against starter Matthew Liberatore, but Liberatore worked his way out of it. The bases were loaded with 1 out, but the Knights were unable to get something across the plate. Liberatore ended up pitching 5 terrific innings. Swing and a miss. Hazley chased one down, strikes out. The ball's low, so Herrera, the catcher, has to throw to first base, and he does to complete the strikeout. 1 down here in the 8th inning. Here comes Sanchez, who's had a tough night, at least offensively. 0 for 3 with 3 punch-outs. Now he made that great no-look sweep tag at third on the caught stealing of Kramer Robertson in the top half of this inning. He had slipped trying to get the throw from the catcher, Perez. He was sitting on his backside and, without looking, just swiped a tag across the base and ended up making contact with and getting Robertson out. Ball 1 is inside. He's a right-handed batter. It's the lefty, JoJo Romero. Romero, 6 feet tall, 200 pounds, 26 years old. And he has this pitch hit out to right center, dropping, and it's going to drop in for a base hit. Oh, Flair single in short right center. Knights have a leadoff, 1 out base hit here in the 8th inning. And it brings up Jake Berger. Got the heart of the order coming up now with Berger, Sosa, and Perez. See if the Knights can do some damage now. Get something going here in the 8th inning. They trail 4-0. Pitch to Berger. He swings to the first one and sends a fly ball. This one to right field, not deep. Yepes coming over, almost overran it, but he stays with it and makes the catch. And Jake Berger's the second out as he went after the first pitch and flies to right field. And now the batter is Lenyn Sosa, who's had a nice night. He's been on base 3 times. A walk in the first inning and singles in the 4th inning and the 6th inning. Yepes in right field had that ball in his sights all the way, and he almost overran it. It was one of those high fly balls. Pitch is inside. Now the flag in center. A little bit of movement now, but the winds are supposed to pick up later tonight. Not nearly as windy as I thought it might be during the game tonight. Here's the pitch. In the dirt, gets away, and breaking for second base and getting in standing on the wild pitch is going to be Sanchez. Wild pitch by Romero. Runner on second, 1 ball and 1 strike on Sosa. Romero with the Phillies and the Cardinals last year. This pitch is a wild one back to the backstop. With 2 outs, he's uncorked back-to-back wild pitches, and over to third base goes Sanchez. Just 2 games of the Phillies last year, 15 games of the Cardinals. lifetime 40 games in the major leagues with a 6.25 ERA lifetime in the big leagues. Lefty comes set, delivers, and throws a strike on the outside corner. Now he's 2-2 on Lenyn Sosa. Next one is strike three taken. 95 miles an hour down the middle of the knees. And Sosa's out for the first time today. And the Knights squander a runner at third base here in the 8th inning. And still scoreless now through 8. No runs, a hit, and a man left. And after 8 complete innings of play, it is Memphis 4 and Charlotte nothing. This is Knights baseball from Beaver Sports. Back out for his second inning of work is Declan Cronin. Top of the 9th inning. 4-0 right now, Memphis. Here's the pitch by Cronin. Ball one up high, 1-0 the count on Gomez. Moises Gomez, then we'll have Herrera and Baker coming up here in the 9th. Cronin deals and throws a strike on the outside half of the plate. Looking at the home half of the 9th inning, the Knights will have Carlos Perez, Zach Remillard, and Eric Gonzalez due up. And now the Redbirds have not one but 2 relievers warming up in the bullpen. This one is high. 94 up and inside. Gomez 0 for 3 in the game. Strikeout, flyout, groundout. Right-hander facing a right-hander. It'll be a 2-1 here from Cronin. Swing and a miss. Slider, good one. Now 2-2. Same 2 teams tomorrow at 7:05, then 1:05 on Sunday afternoon, wrapping up this first homestand. Bark in the Park brought to you by Williams Subaru, coming up on Sunday at 1:05. The slider outside, ball 3, full count. 3-2 on Gomez. Knights will be in Columbus, Ohio, Tuesday through the following Sunday for the first road trip of the season. 3-2. Swing, ground ball to 30, was jammed on that pitch. And Sanchez throws across for the out. Right off his hands, and I think the bat on the follow-through hit the catcher, Carlos Perez, and he's doubled over. The training staff and Justin Jersley, the Knights manager, coming out to check on him. So on the swing and the follow-through, I think the bat ended up catching Carlos. So we catch a replay. The put out 5-3. Carlos now getting up, trying to walk it off. Gomez standing outside of Carlos and now coming over and letting him know it was unintentional, didn't mean to hurt him, and making sure Carlos is okay. And Carlos pats him as well right back on his shoulder and say, hey, it's all right. No, you weren't trying that, and the bat just came out of his hand and caught him, I think, up on the shoulder.
Tonight's attendance here at Truist Field, 10,366, a sellout. Tonight's attendance, 10366.
So the put out 5-3. And now Ivan Herrera is coming up, and he's the Redbirds catcher, knows what those feel like when you get hit by a bat like that. It's not good. Herrera stands in, right-handed batter. The righty Cronin out of the stretch, sets low and deals a fastball down the middle for a strike. Actually might have been a off-speed pitch at 87. His next one is down the way. That was 93. 1-1 on Herrera, who had 266 a year ago. Baker's on deck. He's had a big night, knocking in 3 of the 4 Redbirds runs. Here's a pitch inside. So again, 2 different relievers warming up in the bullpen for the Memphis Redbirds. Pitch is inside. Fastball at 94, 3-1 on Herrera. Either way, it's not going to be a save opportunity with a 4-run lead. And both pitchers are righties, so maybe just somebody getting some work. Here's the 3-1, and he hits one foul. This one back in the seats down the first base side and high up in the lower level. Now the 3-2 inside. Fastball got away, kind of buzzed the tower a little bit. And Herrera, after flipping over, is going to get up and jog on down to first base. So a one-out walk, and it brings up now Luken Baker. Solo home run back in the second, got the Redbirds on the scoreboard. And then he made it 3-0 by knocking in two with a double in the fourth inning. Then he scored on Mercado's double. And that's where we are right now, still 4-0 in the top of the ninth inning. Righty against a righty. And the first pitch is outside, ball one. Now time called, the ball getting loose out of the Redbirds bullpen. Now the Knights parent club, the White Sox, who won the season opener yesterday. Reynaldo Lopez throwing multiple pitches over 100 miles an hour in the ninth inning, got his first ever save. Here's a fastball cut on a miss. 3-2 win over the Astros. And the White Sox tonight in game 2 are winning 1-0 in the sixth inning. Here's the pitch. Up high, 2-1. The Marlins beat the Mets today, 2-1. And 3 other games coming up later. Rockies at the Padres, Diamondbacks at the Dodgers, and the Guardians at Seattle. Only 5 games in the schedule after a full slate yesterday, which is pretty typical. Some reason in the big leagues, you open up the season, the next day a lot of teams have a day off. Runner takes off. The pitch is hit to right field. Perfectly executed hit and run. But the runner on second didn't pick up where the ball was and stayed on second base. Herrera should be at third. He was going on the pitch, and that ball was hit in the hole on the right side, but he didn't pick where the ball was up, and he stayed on second. So first and second, one down. And now the Charlotte Knights getting a pitcher up in the bullpen, a lefty warming up. Donnie Veal, Knights pitching coach, heading out to the mound. Veal and Matt Zaleski sharing that duty, but Veal listed as the pitching coach. Matt's going to be a little bit of a rover, I think, that when the Knights are on the road will at times go to the other teams around here, Winston and Kannapolis. I'm not sure about Birmingham, but rove a little bit. Oscar Mercado has an RBI double in this ball game. He's 1 for 3. White Sox just extended their lead now to 2-0 in the top of the sixth down in Houston at Minute Maid Park. Here's the pitch by Cronin, in tight with a fastball, 1 ball, no strikes. Trying to win the first 2 games of the season against the defending world champions. Pitch is outside. The lefty Perez, back with the Knights this season, is warming up in the Knights bullpen now. Andrew Perez. This one is in for a strike. Last season had a baseball glove that was kind of teal. That teal blue. He's got a raspberry looking glove this year, kind of a raspberry red. 3-0 the count. Cronin deals and throws a strike. 3-1. Scott Hurst on deck. And then Karakudo with a lefty on deck. They might make the change if Mercado reaches and bring in the lefty Perez warming up in the bullpen. Right now 4-0 Redbirds. Knights cannot afford to fall any further behind here in the 9th inning. Runners on first and second, one down. And the 3-1 pitch is inside to load the bases. Walked him, second walk of the inning. Justin Jersley on that second step. And now here he comes. He's got the lefty Andrew Perez in the bullpen. Bases loaded, one out. Got a lefty Hurst coming up. They could always counter with a pinch hitter if they'd like, if they make this change. Jersley's not made the signal yet. Perez in the bullpen. He's going to let him get another pitch or two in, and now he makes the call, and they'll bring in the left-hander. So Cronin had a scoreless 8th inning, but now runs into trouble here in the 9th inning, trying to go multiple frames. Knights trail by 4, and the Redbirds trying to tack on some more. We're back in a moment. Call to the bullpen here at Truist Field. 4-0 Redbirds in the top of the 9th inning. Now the Knights have gone to the bullpen and bring in Andrew Perez here in the 9th inning. Trying to keep this a 4-run game. But the Redbirds have loaded the bases. Scott Hurst is the scheduled batter. And it's going to be Scott Hurst. So it'll be a lefty on lefty matchup. Hurst has a walk, a strikeout, and a flyout. The runners on base belong to Cronin. Inning into third so far, 2 hits, 2 walks, 1 strikeout for Cronin, but no runs allowed. But the bases are loaded here in the 9th inning, 1 out. The pitch to Hurst is down low. Runners on base belong to Cronin. 1 down, 4-0. Memphis in the top of the 9th inning. Game 1 of a 3-game series. It is opening night here at Truist Field. Perez deals, and it's fouled at home plate. Perez, 25 years old, from Orlando. Pitched out at the University of Central Florida. One ball and 1 strike. He kicks and deals, and it's lined on the ground. Taken on a hop at third by Sanchez. Goes to second for 1, but they don't turn the double play. Nice play at third base by Yolbert Sanchez to keep that from getting through and going down the line. Diving to his left. Able to take it on an in-between hop. Screamer off the ground. And he throws to second base for an out, but they get a run to make it out 5-0. Scoring is Herrera. Baker's on third. Mercado was out 5-4. And it's a fielder's choice RBI for Hurst. He's at first base. Now 5-0. And the batter is Karakudo. Turns around about right-handed again. And the lefty Perez deals outside ball 1. That run is charged to Cronin. Top of the batting order's on deck. Here's the pitch. Foul ball back. 1 ball and 1 strike. So the hill to climb on the comeback got a little bit steeper. Now 5 runs. Base runners on the corners for the Redbirds. Here's the pitch, and it's outside. Andrew Perez throwing to Carlos Perez. No relation between the two. just sharing the same last name. 5-7-0 for the Redbirds, 0-7-0 for the Charlotte Knights. Perez throws to first, and the runner gets back. He's got Hurst at first base. He stole a bag, stealing second base in the 7th inning. You got Luke and Baker over at third. Redbirds scoring in their third separate inning in this game. Here's the 2-1 outside, 3-1. Wynn at the top of the batting order. Wynn is on deck. The count, 3 balls and 1 strike. 2 outs here in the top of the 9th inning. And the pitch is down low, and that's going to load the bases. Second time in the inning, they load the bases as it is ball 4. Down to second goes Hurst. And now here comes Mason Wynn, who has a single and 4 at-bats. He'll bat right-handed against the lefty Andrew Perez. Chance here for the Redbirds to blow this game wide open. 5-0 in the 9th inning. Bases loaded. And now Perez kicks and fires and misses outside, ball 1. Now the Knights had only walked 1 hitter in the first 6 innings of this game, but now have walked 4 in the last 3 innings, 3 this inning. 1-0. Foul ball past the bag. Actually, before it got to the bag at third base, hit the sidewall and kicked back towards home plate. Got a pitcher warming up in the Redbirds bullpen for the bottom of the 9th inning. Redbirds trying to shut the Knights out on opening night. 10,366 the crowd, a sold-out ballpark here in Charlotte. There's the pitch. Outside, just missing. Got fireworks coming up after the game. Our first Friday night fireworks show. Game time tomorrow is 7:04, and on Sunday, 1:05. Bark in the park here at the ballpark on Sunday afternoon. Here's the pitch, and it's going to be down low. It'll be a 3-1, and it's outside ball 4, the 4th walk of the inning. And this one will bring a run in. Baker at third base will come on down to now make it 6-0. And all of a sudden, walks becoming an issue, and they weren't an issue until here in the 9th inning. First RBI of the season for Wynn. And here's Kramer Robertson, who doubled his last time. This pitch in the dirt knocked down by Perez. 1 ball, no strikes. Now Robertson, chance to drive some runs in now. His mom still played for the national championship on Sunday, head coach of LSU, and they beat Virginia Tech earlier tonight in the Final Four, women's basketball. They'll play Sunday against the winner of Iowa and South Carolina, starting very soon out there in Dallas. Here's the pitch by Perez, and it's way outside. Now, there's no one throwing in the bullpen. 6-0 game here in the 9th inning. Perez has to find a way to get this last out of the inning. Two 2-0 on Robertson, who takes a fastball strike. 92 miles an hour. And the crowd applauding. A little sarcastic applause with that strike. Knights have walked 4 in the inning. That last one knocked in the 6th run. The count 2-1. Perez at the belt. Kicks and delivers, and it's fouled away to the right side. Again, a fastball. That was 93. The White Sox have taken a 3-0 lead on the Astros. That game now in the bottom of the 6th inning at Minute Maid Park in Houston. Rockies and Padres now underway at Petco Park. Top of the 1st, no score. There's the pitch, and it's down low, and again the count goes to 3 balls and 2 strikes. He's walked 2 in a row, and now 3-2 on Robertson, who last season batted .241. There's the set and the pitch. Swing and a tapper past the mound. Tough play. Charging in the second baseman. Throw is off the glove of Jake Berger. Scoring is Hurst. Here comes Caracudo, and he will score. And also coming in, I believe, is Wynn. Everybody coming around. All 3 scoring on a ball off the glove of the first baseman, Jake Berger. And the wheels have literally come off of the Charlotte Knights here in the 9th inning. 5 runs. It's now 9-0. And pitching coach Donnie Veal is going to go out to the mound.
E3.
Going to be an error on the first baseman, Jake Berger. It was a tough play, but Sosa's throw was off the glove. And I'll tell you, watching the replay, I could see scoring at a base hit and then an error. It looked like it was going to be a bang-bang play at the bag, and it was a very difficult play by Lenyn Sosa charging in. The throw was there, and had he caught it, looks like they would have had the out. But it wasn't easy. It's an error, so E3. 9-0. That's great base running, too, by the Redbirds. That has kept on coming. So E3, no RBIs for Robertson. And he stays at first base. And the pitch to Juan Yepes is ball 1. Next one, big swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike. Been a long inning. This is the 9th batter of the inning. 5 runs have scored. Pitch is high and away. Boy, how many times did we see that last year? Just big innings late in games. It was 4-0, and now it's 9-0. And in the inning, they have a total of 1 hit. Here's the 2-1, and it's inside ball 3, 3-1. Nobody throwing in the bullpen, a 9-run game. You're not going to get another pitcher up, and Perez has to figure out a way to get this last out. Now, time asked for by the hitter and granted. Lance Lynn pitching a good one for the White Sox, a 2-hit shutout so far in the 6th inning. 3-0 lead by Chicago over Houston. Here's ball 4 down low, 5th walk of the inning. Down to second goes Robertson. They've now hit around. Here comes Gomez, who got it started with a ground ball to third base. It's the first out of the inning. And now they've hit around, and Gomez will come up for a second time. He's 0 for 4 in the game. Nine walks now for Charlotte pitching tonight. Here's the pitch, and it's down low, ball 1. And 5 of those coming in this inning. Here's a swing and a foul back on the screen. A fastball that was fouled straight back. 94 on the fastball from Perez. 1 ball and 1 strike. Yepes at first. Robertson's on second here in the 9th inning. And a foul straight back again. Off another fastball. And the count now 1-2. New baseballs for the home plate umpire, Jonathan Parra. Well, the Astros just picked up 2 runs. Still batting in the 6th inning. Now it's a 3-2 game. Former night Jimmy Lambert coming in to pitch for the White Sox. This pitch in the dirt, ball 3, and another full count. I thought it was 3-2. Might be 2-2. No, 2-2. Here's the pitch. Swing, line drive. That's a base hit to left field. They'll hold the runner at third, and now the bases are loaded again. Nick Padilla is now getting up in the Charlotte Knights bullpen. They didn't want to have to use somebody else here in the 9th inning, but Andrew Perez really laboring out there. Can't seem to get this last out to get out of the inning. And now Padilla is warming up in the bullpen as the bases are loaded yet again this inning. That's just the second hit of the inning, but yet they've scored 5 times. So bases loaded. Gomez with the base hit. His first hit. Now Herrera coming up. 2 walks, 2 strikeouts for Herrera today. Carlos Perez going out to the mound to buy some time for Padilla warming up in the bullpen. Well, the wheels have come off of the Knights here in the 9th inning. It was a 4-0 game, but now it's a 9-0 game. And if they haven't blown the game open yet, and it seems like they have, they could do it right here with a base hit, with the bases loaded. We've seen some crazy comebacks, but 9 runs is a lot to ask for the bottom of the 9th inning. Anything more than that, almost impossible. But never say never, right? Here's the pitch to Herrera, and it's out on the corner for a strike. I think if this is a 4-0 game, that pitch is a ball, but home plate umpire Jonathan Parra getting a little bit wider zone there. No balls and a strike. Next one, breaking ball down, check swing. He didn't go. 1 ball and 1 strike on Herrera. Now Jimmy Lambert got the White Sox through the 6th innings. They go to the 7th in Houston. Still White Sox winning 3-2. Rockies getting 2 in the first at Petco Park, 2-0. Now in the bottom of the first. There's the 1-1. Swing and a miss. Big cut. 9 runs, 8 hits, no errors for the Redbirds tonight. 0-7-1 for the Charlotte Knights. The pitcher in the bullpen for the Redbirds has thrown about 50, 60 pitches down there. Just waiting patiently. His team's been batting forever. Pitch outside, 2-2. Got Robertson at third base, Yepes on second base, and Gomez on first. 5 runs in the inning. Count is 2-2 on Herrera. And now Perez comes set. Lefty kicks, delivers, and it's on the ground. First base taken by Berger. And Berger goes to the bag, and the inning is over. And the Knights are coming up for one more time in the bottom of the 9th inning. But the damage has been done. Here in the 10th inning, the 9th inning, my scorecard rolled over to the 10th here with the extra batter. here in the ninth inning. 5 runs, only 2 hits in the inning, but they get 5. And we go now to the bottom of the ninth inning here at the corner of Graham and MLK in uptown Charlotte with the Memphis Redbirds on top 9-0. This is Knights baseball from Beaver Sports. Last chance now for the Charlotte Knights. They trail 9-0, and the new pitcher is Cody Whitley. He was warming up for quite a while in the bullpen for Memphis, but now coming on to work the ninth inning, needing 3 outs. His team has a 9-run cushion for him. Perez, Remillard, and Gonzalez coming up. Carlos Perez has a single on the night, 1 for 3.
Now pitching for the Memphis Redbirds.
Whitley's a right-hander. Pitch is going to be up high.
Whitley now pitching for the Memphis Redbirds. The final line on Memphis reliever JJ Romero, 1 inning, 1 hit, 2 strikeouts, 13 pitches. The line on Memphis reliever JJ Romero.
And Whitley's next one is going to be outside, missing.
2 strikeouts and 13 pitches.
Whitley from Clayton, North Carolina. The righty deals a strike, 2-1. 28 years old. 6'3" right-hander. Lifetime in the major leagues, 43 games. Here's a foul by the plate. 2-0 record, 3.38 ERA. Last season, 14 games with the Cardinals out of the bullpen. Righty delivers, and it's hit high and deep to left center field. That one is way back. It is up. It is out of here. Carlos Perez gets the Charlotte Knights on the board in the bottom of the ninth inning with a leadoff home run deep into the bleachers. And the Knights have their first run of the season. So it is now 9-1 here in the bottom of the ninth inning. And the batter is Remillard. That was a pitch right over the heart of the plate. Left it about thigh high, and boy, Perez did not miss it.
102 exit velocity.
And Remillard takes the first pitch for ball 1. 1-0 on Zach Remillard, who's 0 for 2 with a walk. And he takes a strike. Next one down the way. So there won't be a shutout today for the Redbirds. Again, Whitley was throwing a long time in that bullpen. Came in and just kind of left one pretty fat over the plate. And Carlos Perez, really good hitter, didn't miss it. Here's a ground ball, wide of third, taken by Robertson. Throws to first, they get the out. Nice play off the bag. Went a long way. Went to a knee to scoop it up, popped up, spun around, and made that long throw in plenty of time. And now Eric Gonzalez coming up with the Charlotte Knights. Boy, when Kramer Robertson got to that grounder, he was a good 30 feet off the bag at third. Covering a lot of real estate over there. Gonzalez in his Knights debuts 0 for 3, and the righty takes a strike as he faces Cody Whitley. Back in 21, Whitley at his best season in the majors. Here's a foul ball. 25 games and a 2.49 ERA out of the Cardinals bullpen. Now back in AAA to begin the 23 campaign. Next pitch, just missed the outside at 96 miles an hour. Ball 1. Jake Marisnik is the on-deck hitter. So it's now a 9-1 game. And this one is outside, ball 2. Each team with 8 hits, but the Redbirds did a little bit more with theirs. Swing and a miss. Breaking ball down. Got him. So 2 outs now. And it's up to Marisnik to keep this 9th inning going for the Charlotte Knights. Again, tomorrow night, game time is 7:04. Second game of the series, then 1:05 on Sunday afternoon. Marisnick takes a strike on the outside corner. The stretch and the pitch. Outside. Carlos Perez's home run breaking up the shutout here in the ninth inning. Strike on the outside. The count now 1-2 on Marisnick. He is lined to left field and fanned a couple of times. Redbirds pitchers have struck out 12 nights. Now 13. Fastball up, swing and a miss, 95 miles an hour. And this game is in the books. It's over. And the Redbirds have won opening night against the Charlotte Knights. So in the ninth inning, the Knights get a home run by Carlos Perez to avoid getting shut out. But then Whitley got the next three batters and closed the door on the Charlotte Knights. And the final score tonight is 9-1 Memphis. Stick around. Post game coming up next. This is Charlotte Knights baseball from Beaver Sports.